So just hopefully a quick video, if I don't get too off topic, on how to set up reoccurring sales receipts. And sales receipts are what you want to set up if you want to have billing for clients done on a regular basis. So trusting and assuming that you have contract and all of their payment details in hand, what you want to do is you want to navigate over to your main dashboard in your QuickBooks Online accountants file. And then you want to click on the settings wheel in the upper right hand corner, that little bicycle spoke there. Now, sometimes BombBomb doesn't let us show pop-up windows. So if the pop-up window didn't show up, what you're looking for is the option under lists that says reoccurring transactions. You're going to click on that, and then you are going to select new. And you want to change the drop down to sales receipt. And it is pretty far down the list. So you're looking for sales receipt, click OK. And then it just allows you to populate everything. So for template name, I always put the client's name. So I'm going to say XYZ. Actually, I want it to show up at the top of my list. So AAA company. You'd put the client's name there. Scheduled is fine to leave it there. You don't need to create it anytime in advance. Then you would choose the client from your drop-down menu. Now, if you haven't set them up as a client yet in your QuickBooks file, you can also set them up as a client here. So it's fine. You would just click add new and then be able to populate all of the client details. Once you populate the client details, just go ahead and hit save. So assuming they're on your client list, you would find them and select them, and then their email should populate here as well. You want to make sure that you have the option checked where it says automatically send emails. This means that they get notification of the charge and that they don't just get surprised by the charge. Now, we do our billing on the first day of every month. If you want to bill on the first of the month, you would set it for the first of the month. If you have a different day that you want to bill, you would just put that as monthly, leave monthly alone, day alone, and then first is the date that it would go on. So if you want it to be a different date, you would just change it to that different date. And then it's of every 1 month. So not really anything that you need to change in the interval box unless you want that date to be a different date. And then the start date is going to be whenever you're starting the cycle. So this is where I think it gets a little confusing for bookkeepers, because if you put in, so it's the 23rd of January today. So if you were to put in today's date, the first invoice that they would receive would be on the first of the month. If you wanted it to bill today, then what I would recommend is creating a separate just invoice and processing their payment that way. So put your start date for today's date and just know it will then invoice them on the 1st of, so it would be the 1st of February. So the billing address is going to automatically populate. You don't need to put any tags in. You do want to use this drop down for their payment method. So if it's credit card, if it's an ACH for a bank account, you would select that option and then make sure that your deposit to account is the account that you want it to go into in your own QuickBooks. So our deposits all go into our operating account. So just make sure that that correct account is selected. Now here, and QuickBooks is pretty great on this, but here we have it set up for where our packages are listed as like bronze, silver, gold, and then everything populates. If you don't have a package set up, you can have your packages so you can set up a bronze package. If you haven't set up any products yet, you can do that right here. So that makes it super simple with putting the product name, creating the description, the quantity, and then whatever the rate is. So I already have it set up. So let's say I'm going to go for bronze. So bronze for us gives them 1 to 3 accounts. I just have it listed as monthly bookkeeping services, 1 to 3 accounts, quantity is 1, and then the rate is $2.50. So that's the amount that they'll be charged. Now there's one other piece that you want to make sure of. When you put the payment information in, there's going to be a box that pops up. So ACH is what I'm selecting. If you put credit card in, the same thing would be selecting. This is where you actually enter their bank information. So you click on it, it takes you through the entering. If it's an ACH, their routing number and account number. If it's a credit card, it takes you through the, the credit card number, the 3-digit code, and then expiration date for that. You want to make sure that you click on this box here. I have authorization and would like to process the transaction. It's not going to process the transaction right now. What it will do is it will process it on whatever date you've set up at the monthly date. So super easy, super straightforward, but definitely make sure you have this box checked. And then you just go ahead and you hit Save Template. It's that simple.